Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So we are back at it again, part two of the custody battle between Michael and Willow. And we got a lot to talk about today, but it seemed the one thing I would sit there and say in this opening statement is that Rick decided to actually do his job and be the competent lawyer that I knew that he was since yesterday. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's sit there and get in the roll call and get this started. As you know, I'm one person. There's going to be X amount of people in this chat. I am not going to sit there and try to get to every comment. So, just let's not keep repeating the same sentence over and over and over and over and over again, because it's not going to make me get to the comment faster. It's just going to annoy me. All right. Amy's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Queen of the South is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Allison is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ronnie Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope I make sure I said you. Hope everyone had a great day. Where's my music? Where's my water? Let's get this started. A lot of fun tonight, people. See, I couldn't, I had to come on a little bit later because, work and everything yesterday. But tonight, we're going to have some fun. I'm doing good, Blackmon. How are you doing? Ron says, bro, really missed a lot of what happened in Salem. Sean had to tell him about his divorce. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had to sit there and catch Bo up. Yeah. Queen of the South says, hey, Albert, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Of course, Queen. Love having you here. Seriously. And let me tell you something again. The member streams are going to get a lot more funner. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So I'm so glad that you are a member. There's going to be some surprises. I think you might have saw Saturday. So have some fun ideas. And, yeah, I'm really excited about it. To be honest, days was better than it was yesterday, as far as like it wasn't as depressing as it was yesterday, but that's about it. Like, I appreciated that it was more lighthearted than yesterday. But with that being said, I still didn't really enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to when they start getting back to the story. And that's all I'm going to sit there and say about Days, because I don't really have much to say about it. But General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, uh, Born and Beautiful. Wing says way less depressing, good pace. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Yes, Wing, and I appreciate. Oh, we gotta talk too. And I appreciate that it was a lot more lighter than it was yesterday. Allison said, I thought Bo died. I was brain from a year ago. I don't watch, but seeing things. Yeah, he did. And then they kept him alive, and halfway kept him alive, and they did some sort of experiment, and they was able to sit there and revive him, from what I understand. Because it played out in the show called Beyond the Gates, but the point is, like, he did die, but he was also still, like, Megan Halfway was experimenting on trying to bring him back. Krista is in the chat, how you doing tonight? B Cobb is in the chat, how you doing tonight? So, Wink, I'm just going to sit there and say this. I didn't realize that the person was talking to you was bothering you. And I was in the middle of, I was going to say something to Tom Starr at the time. And the emergency room was somewhere right now. Oh, wow. I hope I hope that they make it. I hope that they make it. I'm sorry to hear that. But no, Mikab, Wink. I was in the well. The minute that that person said something to you, I was going to interject and say something, but then you answered them back, and so I thought things was okay. I don't have to sit there and tell that person to not talk to you. But if I knew that, I would have been. I was going to sit there and say like, don't talk to Wayne. You're just just enjoy the chat or whatever. You're not here, or whatever, for Wayne. So don't talk to her. I felt like I didn't do that yesterday, but like I was in a I just like I was in the process of saying it, but then when you responded back, I was like, okay, I guess everything is somewhat okay. Um, yeah, I got your back. I just yeah. Because says, why that was decent. It was decent. It was decent. It was watchable, Mikhail. I think you'd be able to watch it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't watch it, you're not going to miss anything. But it was decent. Was good, Alexandra. Ron says it was good that Eric and the other brothers are yeah. Yeah, that's great. Um, was good, Monique. Wink said no worries. It's something that carried over from Kyrie's stream Sunday. I wasn't bothered yesterday, but Sunday I had to address it because like every 2 3 weeks he starts sharing. Yeah, no, I understand that. I get it. That's why I was like I was gonna say something, but then when we respond, I was like, okay, I guess everything is. But now that I know, I just make sure that he doesn't talk. All right. What's good, Darby? What's good, Alexandra? But the see the lady in the chat, well, took care of it. What's good, Krista? That's what I was wondering why she made that face. And then I heard, then I saw it in Kyrisha's stream that what happened. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to sit there and start making a new rule. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Ring says Cowley is the alpha clearly. I mean, I ain't mad at that. I mean, I'm the alpha, but I'm just saying, like the lady of the manor was she was there, but I got a little surprise for her too. By the way, Alexandra says I'm just waiting for Willow to get on the stand because I feel like Diane is going to eat her alive, especially since Willow won't have Drew in her ear telling her what to say. Now today's Kelsey hearing was very, very, very interesting. Yeah, no, I got it, Ron. Thank you. It was good, Cherry. It's good to see you tonight. I love it. It's good to see you tonight, Cherry. I'm glad you're joining us. Thank you. Yeah, today's Kelsey here was definitely interesting because, well, again, the hell I was going to sit there and say, Rick woke up. He, while Diane brought up, Willow and the kids and the unstable environment that they will be having if the kids were Willow. Rick had to sit there and remind the court. So remember that time that you got shot in the head? So remember that time that Jonathan is not here yet. I have a suggestion. Can you give an opening sentence the same as a closing? Oh, Wink says, question about Nina. Did she just tell Rick off screen about Sasha? Yes, that's yes, because yes, and I was sitting there thinking about the same thing too. Nobody says, is Jonathan here? I have a suggestion. Can you give an opening sentence of the chat the same as the closing sentence you do when Albert closes the live stream? If I remember, well, hopefully I won't drink too much. If I remember, I would definitely sit there and say that to him. But he's not here yet, though. He usually comes around 9 o'clock. Usually comes around 9 o'clock. But yes, and that's a very good question, Wayne, because I was like, how did he know? But if you really think about it, if you put two and two together, and or somebody is doing a timeline investigation, they can clearly see that. Well, yeah, maybe Nina probably did. I'm sitting there trying to make this shit all super deep, and I'm like, maybe you did. Maybe she did. Really not sure. What do you think? I don't think this one. Oh, there we go. What's good, Amber? Wing says it was like watching Beyond the Gates. I wasn't bothered yesterday. Like, when did this happen? Did I miss something? I was going for like a second. It was like watching Beyond the Gates. I wasn't bothered yesterday. Like, Ron says Finn is really a simp, letting Steppy control him. Now Luna will come back for her. You know, that's what she gets. Warrior here says, "What are those scenes?" Oh, it's not a scene. It's I don't know. It's an image that I pulled off of Google. Warrior. Um, but yeah, it was so stupid that they're watching Luna beg her husband. It was like it was like Beyond the Gates editing mistake on GH because they do. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, it was so stupid that they're watching. Allison says Diane's already resting her case. I know. Slick Rick. It was good, Allison. Slick Rick. He ain't going down without a fight, and today he woke the f up, and I was here for it. Um, yeah, it was so stupid that they're watching Luna beg her husband. And we're gonna get to Beyond the Gates in a hot second too. Um, it was so stupid watching Luna sit there and beg her father for her attention. So that they're saying, okay, Wing says, where did that Drew screensaver come from? Google. It came from Google. Google image. It was good, Sean. I'm like, you're sitting up there begging and pleading this man to, oh, I'm so lost without you, Dad. I think you've been fine for many years, bro. I think you'll be fine now. You know, you want a relationship with him, and I understand. And what's good, Kaiwan? You want a relationship with him, I understand that. But he says no, right? Okay, fine, then let it go. I don't understand why. And she's like, come on, don't let Steffi sit there and control you. I need you. Girl, you're like 22 something years old. Like, if you don't want to have a relationship with you, then fine. I thought that seemed so goddamn stupid. I really did. Now, Darby says, Albert, I'm kind of tired of Sean being guilty of shooting his dad 2 years ago. Sean, please get over that. You did what you did to save your mom because you are a policeman. Yeah. Um, I mean, I get the guilt a little bit to some extent. Um, I don't know if that's something you could just necessarily get over, though. I mean, with all due respect, I don't know if that's something you could just necessarily just, yeah. But I don't know. That's just my perspective. You know, Ron, you actually said that yesterday, and I agree with you. Yeah, no, Ron, you said that yesterday, and I agree with you. About the whole Steffi act like Sheila didn't save her daughter. Yeah, I still think that's out of pocket. Alexandra says, I think they're trying to make it seem Michael is losing, and then Nina will expose whatever truth about Drew that she's going to expose on Friday, and that will be the turning point of the custody. Oh, yeah, I still got to watch. Well, thank you for reminding me, Alexandria. Um, I still have to watch the previews. And what's good, Francis? 33 people in the chat and 16 likes. Yes, hit that like button because it really does help. Winkling said, does DoorDash deliver pew-pews now? Luna has the hookup. Yeah, I'm like, it's just, I mean, this story is just so asinine, if we're going to be honest. Let me hit the like button. People, hit the like button. 37 people in the chat. Hit the like button. But, what the hell was I going to say? It's just, now, and here's my whole other thing. They did all this to get Luna out of prison just so that, for what? Oh, Sean, you guys sit there and make the members live stream this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the same thing with you, Krista. Um, I didn't actually have an ounce of my food. Hold on. They did all this to sit there and get this chick out of prison, and for what? What was the point? So she could sit there and start going crazy, obsessing over worlds that went nowhere, trying to have a relationship with her father because her father is too much of a spineless coward to do anything. And what you call it, just when this weekend, Albert, Saturday and Sunday, mostly Saturday. I want to sit there and try to do this on Saturday. Oh, and Sean, other Sean is here. I love how Sean Smith is saying, right, Sean? Sean says, I never noticed, realized how beautiful Emma until she was in that swimsuit. I mean, I thought she looked good in the what you call it. And what's good, LaShawn? Wing said no comment. I we'll see, LaShawn. Rick is presenting a very strong case. Francis says I thought Nina wasn't going to tell Rick about Sasha and Michael. Nina said it would be better if Willow didn't get full custody. So yeah, and it's funny, Francis. I said that yesterday. I think I don't know, LaShawn. I have no idea. Check his page. Wait a minute, there's more than one Sean? I mean, there's more than two Seans? Kind of one. Unless there's another Sean that I don't know about. Ring said, yeah, Sean, there's two of you, two of Aubrey, two of Kyrie's, and two of a couple other people. Yeah. Okay. Ron says, what's your take on Andrew and Paul scene? Um, I'll give you a good answer. Susan R. What's good, Susan R? My take on their scene. Um, I mean, I didn't really enjoy the episode that much, so I don't really have much to sit there and say about their scene. But you know, they want to sit there. Their scene is supposed to sit there and bring light to a very dark time by them getting married because that's what John would have wanted. So that's what I would sit there and say about their scene. That's what I would sit there and say about their scene. That's my official take on that one. Prince CJ said Michael sleeping with Sasha and getting her pregnant have no bearing on the custody case. But that's the problem, though, right, Prince CJ? Because I thought it was a custody case. See, if I mean, I thought it was a custody case, and if it's a custody case, then the same rules apply to Willow. The same rules apply to Willow, right? So it's like them bringing up the. But the thing is, though, it's not just a custody hearing, though, is it? It's a divorce hearing. That's what Sonny said. Sonny said today there was a divorce hearing, and if it's a divorce hearing, then it's a little bit different. Then yes, yes, both of their infidelities is going to have an impact. Because that's what I thought it was too, Prince. Francis says, Albert, Allison Sweeney's not coming back for the funeral. No, she is not. They said that today. Sydney broke her arm or her collarbone or something like that. Because if then they would have had to cast somebody for Sydney, right? They would have had to cast somebody for they would have had to cast somebody for Sydney. Taiwan says, are you like that spoiler guy? And do you think they're trying to Sunny and Laura together? And what does Jocelyn lie on Stan? Jocelyn didn't lie on the stand. I'm not like that spoiler guy. And I think you're talking about Phoenix Tremaine. And I don't think they're trying to put Sunny and Laura together. That's my take on it. There's a comment in there that I'm just not going to say, but I could. Now, Wink says, court question. If you're called as a witness, are you just allowed to leave or not show up? Like the reason Christina went out the window was because she had to testify in Ava's custody hearing. That's true. That's very, very true. Probably just so, yeah. Yeah, Susan, yes. I'm not like the spoiler guy. And again, uh Lord. Susan, I just laugh. No, Francis, I didn't get a chance to watch that. I didn't get a chance to watch that. But I honestly tell you, Francis, I probably wouldn't watch it though. It's too sad. I'm gonna be honest. It's the stuff that's going on with Days. I'm watching it, but like kind of skimming through some of the stuff. Like yesterday, I had to skim through a lot because I'm not letting that stuff like affect my mental health. I guess my whole point is that Yeah. Sean says, "What does Jason? Where does Jason go from here? Probably to jail with Sasha. Probably to jail with Sasha for lying. That's fraud. That's fraud. What Jason and Sasha did was fraud. Okay? Now, yeah, they're probably not going to go to jail because Diane is a magician or whatever. But like, technically, they should be going. They should be going to jail. Okay? That's what should be happening right now. Because Sasha admitted on the stand. But again, that's my only that's my thing, Prince AJ. I don't know if it's a divorce hearing or if it's a custody battle. Are they doing both? Like, because they, again, their infidelities. Obviously, Allison, they're not going to go to jail. I'm just meant to saying that's where they should go. Yeah, Wank, that's another one in my head. Well, I'm not just gonna have to skim through that, but I'm probably just gonna not review it. I'm probably just not gonna review those episodes if we're gonna be honest, and just review some other stuff in this place, like I did with Bobby Schrinner. I was like, I'm not reviewing that. I was like, I'm not. I'm no. I'm not doing that. Um, Susan says, "Wait, where did this go from a custody to a divorce hearing?" Yeah, today they said it's both. Yeah, then I'm not. Yeah, okay, Prince CJ. Then I'm not understanding any of this. Then it's literally not making any sense. Um, that's the thing, Susan. When did it go from a custody hearing to divorce hearing? And Prince CJ is saying that it's both. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Um, so it's like, okay, now, well, now the problem is, Susan, I must have missed something too because I've been watching it for a hot minute. Oh, and we have another person, Kristen. Elizabeth has a shady past that I won't wish this version of Lucky. I understand where she's coming from. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just have too much baggage, too much bad history. Yeah, let's everyone say what's up to Kristen. Thank you, Kristen. LaShawn says, "Is Cole Howard about to die?" They keep. I said that shit last week, and I'm still asking the same goddamn question. Are they killing him off? Because he's like, "No, I'm not going to the hospital." I'm like, bro, you're about to pass the F out. You're about to literally pass the F out, and you talking about you not going to the hospital. Um, what's good, Island? Okay, now Wink says actually I mean, child custody can be settled during a divorce hearing. Oh, okay. Wow, that's new to me. Okay, all right, thank you, Wink. I did not know that. It's good to know. Okay. Exactly, Kristen. That's what it comes down to. That's what they call a retcon, Kristen, and that's why it doesn't really make any sense. Darby said, "Did Jason go in court and say he's Sasha's baby father? If not, then he's not going to jail." But he's on record, though. He's on record, like he literally signed papers claiming that he's the baby's father. So I don't know, Darby. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna sit there and find a way to retcon that shit too. Kristen says, Albert, I agree with what you said a few videos ago. Luke is worse than Drew will ever be. Exactly. And I thank you, Kristen, and I stand with that. I stand with that. Why would they blame Victor for it? Who would be dumb enough to sit there and blame Victor for that, Sean? But yeah, no, Kristen, I stand by that shit 100%. Because I know people love to sit there and whine about you. Oh my God, you're so bad. He's terrible. He's awful. I'm like, have y'all guys never sit there and seen Lucas? Like, Luke gets a pass, even though what he did, but Drew's, oh my God, he's disgusting. Now, I'm not saying Drew's a great guy, obviously, but like, they're far worse. What's good, Ryan? I'm active tonight, so watch out. Exactly, Allison. That's my point. Now, Wink says it's stupidity. Cole should be in a hospital, not self diagnosing himself after collapsing and having the flu for a month. Yes, that's not something you. You know, honestly, thank you, Wink, because this brings me to my Bill Hamilton thing. This brings me to my Bill Hamilton thing. Listen, you sat there and acted like so. You acted like a goddamn baby, and you made things much worse, sir. Oh, okay. Um, okay, thank you, Sean. I didn't. Okay, I didn't look at it that way. Um, but Bill did the same thing. He was being so damn stubborn. Like you have two people that love you, and listen, they don't like each other. If they're agreeing that you should be in a hospital, then maybe you should stop whining and bitching and just go to the goddamn hospital. It's absolutely asinine. Ryan, that's not supposed to make you feel better about anything. Like no one's sitting there saying that you're supposed to feel like anything because like, oh, Sean, you out? All right, have a good night, Sean. Is that supposed to make you feel better? No, the world doesn't revolve around you. The hell are you talking about? August said, "I agree with you, Kristen." Okay, what's good? What's good, August? War says, "Oh, which Bill? My bad, Bill. From Beyond the Gates. You're right, Alan. You're right. But yeah, Bill from Beyond the Gates was just sitting there being super stubborn, like, "Oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to." I'm like, bro. And then we got to sit there and talk about the sharing stuff. Yes, Ray here says, has Victor taken control of the Abbott family business yet? Not yet. Me too, Krista. Kristen. I forgot there's a Krista in here too. There's a Crystal in here also. God damn it. She's going to start to overlap at this point. I'm just tired of hearing that about Luke. I don't give enough about Luke. Yes, this is about Jerry. Anyway, like I said, my point is, Ryan, and I actually tell you the truth, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to somebody else. Um, but I still stand by what I said. So, but also, Ryan, on a positive note, congratulations to your cousin for graduating. That's awesome to hear. Rink says, when is he teaming up with Dollar Bill? That's hilarious. But yeah, wait. Sharon is what? Yeah, Sharon. Here's the thing about Sharon. Sharon is one of those bitter ass women. Um, Sharon is one of those bitter ass women that you don't want in your life. And when you're gone from them, yeah, of course, Ryan. When you're gone from them, you don't need them back in your life. And that was my whole thing about Vernon. Vernon's like, no, you need to do the concert. You need to sit there and start singing again. I'm like, she's fine. She was fine for what she was doing. Um, Krista said, I enjoyed the whole episode. Episode of what? Which one are we talking about? You see that boy at graduation, do you? August says, I feel like Michael will get custody of the kids and Willow gets visitation as long as Drew has no. Well, I mean, that's what everyone hopes the outcome is going to be, right? Do you think that DeMoss is going to be Kane's recast as Billy? It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. It would make sense. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's possible. GH, okay. Island says, I dislike the character of Victor on YNR. He always wins in the end, and that makes the show boring. That's why I stopped watching YNR. He's a cartoon villain. Yeah, that's why most people. That's the gripe with most people. Island. That's the gripe with most people. Um, I like Victor. I do feel like he is the heart and soul of the show. If we're gonna be honest, um, but I do know that it's an ensemble cast. Okay, right. Well, we can agree to disagree on that, and I'm gonna sit there and bring that up in a hot second. Oh, Heaven! Hey, first time here. Oh, what's good, Heaven Spencer? Let's everyone welcome Heaven Spencer. I'm gonna just call you Spencer. If that's okay. Allison said they should really have joint custody with a rule that Willow can't move away from Port Charles. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they definitely joint custody. But I agree with Rick. I agree with Rick. Like he didn't exactly have the best upbringing either. Even recently, the fact that he was in a burn clinic should say something about Michael. What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with a great environment? I'm not simply saying that Michael's not a great father. Where did that come from? That was like a left field. I'm saying if we're gonna sit there and talk about a bad environment, you can call me by my first name, Albert. It's oh, hold on. Of course, that's how we do. That's how we do all the time, and when we get somebody new in there. Heaven. Okay, all right. I'll call you Heaven. That's cool. What's good, Ed? Yes, thank you, Ed. We're gonna get to that in a hot second. It's good to have you here, though, tonight. That's my point, though, right? Is that if Rick made a point um, that what you call it, Michael does not exactly. And the thing is, even Sasha, and what's good, Jonathan? Even Sasha didn't want Michael to be around the baby because of his family, right? So if people want to sit there and say, well, Willow's not exactly providing the best environment for her kids, well, Michael got shot in the head and he also got, burnt in a firebomb. So we're not gonna sit there and play that. Rick actually had a very good point, and I stand by that shit. Wing says, I think Chelsea and Vanessa are sex addicts. Yeah, yeah, let's Okay, Ryan, you believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to go back and I stand by what I said, but I respect your. Um, so did Rick today, though, too, as so did Rick today. But I respect your opinion, Ryan. We'll leave it at that. Heaven said you never had a female in the chat named Heaven before. I can tell you're kind of shocked, but uh, yeah, I'm not shocked, but it's nice to have you here, though. And that's very mature, Ryan. Just remember the patience level starts to go low. Johnson says it looks like Luna's going in for the yeah. Um, and it's funny, we were just in there talking about that too. We were just in there talking about that. Because she was doing way too, like I said, she was doing way too much begging, right? She was doing way too much begging to sit there and try to be in his life. And at some point, it's like just give it up, you know. Just like give that shit up. Like it's not even, you know what I'm saying? Like you're like 27 years old. At some point, like you've been standing on your own 2 feet for quite a while because it's not like Poppy was really a great mother. So like why are you begging this man to sit there and be in your life like that? You know? Ryan, you don't want to know what I have to sit there and say. Like I said, I'm being respectful. And we'll leave it at that. Ed says she needs handle Leslie well until she. It's hard to sit there and say she handled it well, though, right? Because she should have just went with her first instinct, which was to kick her out of the hospital. Leslie's sitting there talking about, well, this is a public space or whatever, and anyone can be here. Yo, listen, we have cause that you've been coming in here acting up and trying to off people. She should have just went with her gut instinct instead of being like, okay, well, just don't. Um, it's like, why are you sitting there just letting? Why are you just not there letting her just like stay in the hospital? Francis says, I think Sheila would end up saving Steffi from Luna. Interesting. Johnson says, first name Luna, last name Tick. I don't get it, but oh, now I got it. Wow, that took me a second. That's good. I like that, Jonathan. Chris, Krista, that's why Jonathan is my right hand guy. Island says Michael is a better parent emotionally. Okay, but okay, I respect your opinion, Island. I think they should split custody with Willow and get some therapy. Yeah, yeah, we good, Ryan. We good. We good. We good, Ryan. Like I said, Ryan. I did enjoy the episode. It's really funny, Ryan. I knew you were going to come in here with a certain energy, so I kind of prepared myself for well, you being you. If we're gonna be honest, I kind of prepared myself for that because I knew that you were gonna come in here with a certain energy. So we good. Avon said, "Really, Nina, Sasha is supposed to be like a door." Yeah, I'll be. Yeah, I'm really shocked that she did that. Heaven. If she actually did that, I'm shocked that she actually did that. Um, I want to wait until there's confirmation of her sneakers saying that, but she did sit there and say that she was hoping. She did sit there and say that she was hoping that Willow lost. Island, I would sit there and say General Hospital. I would say General Hospital. Um, Francis says, "How did you like Danny's performance at the hospital, Bill?" I mean, it was fine. She was on point. She was on point. And she known him the longest, so it makes sense. It shows you, um, what being with somebody a lifetime would kind of look like. She knew that Bill didn't like not being in control. So that's all I was going to say about that. Prince CJ says Albert Michael and Willow should get joint custody for the kids with the stipulation that Willow gets therapy and Drew should not be allowed. Well, yeah, yeah, I would sit there and say that because in all reality, um, he don't want his kids around what you call it, around Drew, and I think that's totally understandable. Ryan says, I guess my point is what has Michael himself done to qualify as an unfit dad? That's all. He can't be held responsible for his family's actions. Yes, Ryan, I got like what you were saying. I got what you were just saying earlier. Okay? That's why I said I agree to disagree. Um, but see, that's the thing though, Allison. Allison says, yes, I do, Ryan. It's just him being around Sonny and Jason is dangerous. That's what I was pretty much saying. But like you just you know keep just trying to insert your opinion like I get what you're saying, Ryan. I do. So when I sit there and say I get it, just trust me that I got it. Shakira says hi and Luna hasn't changed. Luna has I don't know what they're actually doing with Luna's character. Like I really don't. They did all this work to sit there and get her out of jail. And now they're having her be super like obsessive with, you know, fan and everything like that. I'm like, this is uh, yeah, I don't understand what they're doing. And again, why is it? It says, Albert, what did you think about Emma and Dalton scenes? That she's going to do anything she can to sit there and nail Dalton to the wall for what he's been doing about as far as illegal animal testing. But see, I also think it's actually pretty interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up because while people are sitting there saying that Dalton's being very creepy, no one is sitting there saying that Emma is sitting there literally going out her way to flirt with Dalton. All this that they're saying is Dalton is icky and Dalton is creepy, and I'm like, well, how old is Emma? If we're going to be honest, if we really want to sit there and go there, you know, like that's the whole thing, though. So I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm not going to sit there and say names because, to be honest, I can't remember it. But everyone's like, "Oh my God, Dalton's being so creepy." I'm like, and what is Emma doing? I guess we just gonna act like that. That's just exactly, Allison. So again, it's just like that's how I'm looking at it. 21 would fight. Yeah, exactly. Trust me, I don't even want to sit there and get into that conversation because that tends to go tits up. But yeah, um, Shakira says, I'm going to see Tom Cruise movie this week. Oh, nice. Okay, Shakira, let me know what you think of it when you saw it. I enjoyed it. I'll sit there and say that much. I enjoyed it. So I'm very curious about your take, Shakira. It's interesting. I don't know if Kyrie's is actually streaming tonight. I don't know if Dion is actually streaming tonight though too. I'm glad you asked. Okay, good, Shakira. Lulu didn't learn a goddamn thing. Lulu didn't learn a goddamn thing. Francis says, yes, I did, Francis, and I loved it. I loved Thunderbolts, Francis. If you get a chance to watch it on Disney Plus, definitely watch it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I know they're supposed to be side characters, but like the way that they connect and stuff like that is really fun to watch. Um, oh, Dion Small, thank you, Allison. Allison, you are fucking awesome. Um, Johnson said, did Belle break things off with Izzy yesterday? Yes. Yeah, Jonathan, she did. And it's funny because a certain someone, my guy, okay, all right, Ed, okay, my man, all right. Um, no, I appreciate that. Thank you, Allison. But yeah, Jonathan, she did that because very correct, very correct. But she did that because here's my thing about, and I'm glad you asked that. But my whole thing is, she was like, "Well, we can't go out to we can't be together because John wouldn't want that. John would want me to make smart decisions." So, Belle, what you're saying is that you knew you were making a stupid decision by being with EJ, and the only thing that changed was that now that your dad passed away, you're like, oh, a light bulb just went in my head and said, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. What is that? Like, what does that even mean? Exactly. Like, well, I don't know if you're talking to me, but like, I don't okay, maybe it was Island. But like, I don't understand how you snip this saying, well, my dad won't want me to make bad decisions. I mean, like, what? Oh, okay. Thank you, Wayne. I I don't understand how that makes sense. Um, and I'm trying to be light on Bell, but yes, Jonathan. And it's funny. I actually wrote that in my notes. I think that's most likely going to happen when the actor that plays Chad is going to leave the show. Now, Justin says Lulu would do anything to punish anyone who gets between her and Dante first. Valerie, and now Brooklyn. Lulu is no saint either when she messed Dylan and Jordan. Justin's coming in with the facts. I like it. I like it. So that's the thing, though, right, Ryan? Everyone can sit there and try hard. Sonny has tried hard to sit there and make it safe for his family. But you know what they say about good intentions, right? Ryan, let's just kind of shortcut this point. I get it. You like Michael. You're a super fan of Michael. And when somebody says something that goes against the grain when it comes towards Michael, you don't like it. You don't really agree with it. And I get that on some level. I guess that's what kind of separates me from you a little bit, in a sense. Well, a lot of things separate us, but you're seeing it from a fan's point of view. I'm seeing it from, a reviewer, a critic's point of view. And usually with fans, they have a blind spot. Most fans have a blind spot. They will ignore anything that their favorite character would do because they like their favorite character. So I try not to come down on you too hard, you know? Shakira says everyone got different opinions. Yes, exactly. Everyone does. Johnson says objective point of view. Yeah, an objective point of view. Yes, thank you. Ryan says, what is your opinion as a fan? See, that's the problem with my opinion as a fan. It's hard to actually have an opinion as a fan because my thinking has changed a little bit. You know, my thinking has changed a little bit. So even when I watch other shows that's non soap opera related, I usually sit there and try to think from both point of views. So I can't just sit there and be like, well, I like that person, so they can kind of just do whatever they want. I think I've always kind of been like that for the most part. Like in my adult years, my later adult years, as says Albert Days wasn't too sad today, and Bo learned a lot about people dying, except them for John. And yeah, and I would sit there and say that's pretty hard to sit there and wake up and find out people are gone that you loved and stuff like that. Ring says, Mr. Devil's Advocate. I've kind of been like that in like my 30s and moving forward. Yes. I just think that's just, for me, it's just an interesting way of thinking about stuff, you know? Like, it doesn't do me much of any good to always sit there and look at it just from one point of view, you know? Yes, Ed, thank you. Yes, we're going to talk about that shit too. Thank you, Ed. Allison says, was Bo still married to Hope? No. I don't, actually, chat, that's a good question. Jonathan, was Bo still married to Hope? Krista says, Lucky can go. He adds nothing to the show. Chelsea can actually go too well from beyond the gates. But yes, actually, that's the thing, Ryan. I don't need to pick a lane. I don't need to pick a lane. That's how I kind of work a little bit. Is that I can see things from both sides. So I don't need to pick a lane. I can actually walk in between two of the lanes. And Jonathan says, I'm actually, yeah. If Jonathan don't know, then Ed, Ed, do you know that? Ed, I need to ask you a question. Where the hell are you? Where? Ed, Allison asked, was Bo still married to Hope? So Ed, I need you to answer that question. Well, then we're not gonna know. But thank you for asking though. I mean, thank you for, you know, thank you, Krista. Yes, hit that like button. The hell are we at with the legs? Thank you, Krista. Autumn. Susan says, how many different ways can someone ask the same thing looking for validation and not moving on? Yeah. Um, Brian, how about we just move on from that? It's like you kind of starting to go off the rails again. Yeah, you kind of going off the rails. This, Brian, I need you to move on. Or yeah, move on. Um, okay, all right. No, Ed, I got something to be asking my two aces that question now, right? Somebody asked another question. Ed, what did you ask before? Normally, I'm not exactly a fan of people repeating questions, but um, you said something before. What did you say before? This was about the gates. This is about beyond the gates. Oh yes, cat. Thank you. The cat's cat's just doing too much, right? And yeah, I am glad too that Jacob was like, yo, listen. At the end of the day, this is my investigation. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, man. Like, girl, you doing too much. Like, you really, really, really doing way too much. And basically, all she said was Jacob was like, hey, listen, I don't need you to do anything to mess up this investigation. And what did she sit there and say? Well, I'm going to practically do what I want. Okay. Yeah, Krista, they're going to do it at some point. And probably a little bit after the custody. I know it's going to be after the custody hearing, unless they just like really kind of surprise people. Johnson says, if Luna really is leaving the show, do you think she'll go to jail? I think she'll be killed off. If she does go to jail, it just would be kind of stupid. Like, she was just in jail. Like, Wing says Leslie is doing the most too with Shanice and Andre. Leslie does too much every time that she's on screen. Every time that she's on screen, she's doing way too goddamn much. Right? And like it almost seems like the powers that be that just allowing her to be like, oh, I'll let you stay in the hospital, but just don't start going in people's rooms. So if you're not gonna watch her, she's just gonna do what she wants. It's like Andre today. Andre was like, she wanted to sit there and see the footage. Andre could have just said, no, you're not gonna see anything and just stand on business. But what does he do? Okay, fine, I'll show you the footage. Why? Why even give in to that? Like, I don't even understand that. Like, why even give in to that? You know? Shakira, I just hope that it pays off. I really hope that it pays off. I think that's what Allison says. I guess that's what popular today, and I'm getting old. Wayne says, "Well, Andre's not the brightest bulb in the room." Yeah. Yep, I feel like I'm gonna regret this. Taiwan says Willow told Rick. I think Willow told Rick. Okay, I give up. Like, I give up. I just tapped out. Oh my lord. Wink, you just just gotta laugh. I I tried. I tried. I gave it the good old college try. I don't know how Dion does it. I don't know how Dion does it. Queen Jess was good, Jess. Yeah, Ed, gotta sit there and balance out some positive. Heaven says, "I'm just confused as you are." Yeah, I tapped out Heaven. Uh, no, I said fuck it. Shakira says, "Do you believe Sasha's having a girl this time or another boy?" I would sit there and say a girl. I don't know why, but I feel like if it was a boy, it'd be kind of cool. I would sit there and say girl, Shakira. Justin says Willow needs to get that look off her face at the court because she and Drew made Michael cheat on Willow with something. Okay. Have a good night, Francis. It was great to see you. Exactly, Island. Oh Lord, Beyond the Gates is something else. We got Danny and Andre. They seem like they had the exact same goddamn conversation that they did yesterday. Just as Lulu is so ridiculous, she really believes she did the right thing. Yes, that's how I've been snitching. I've been saying that shit in this stream every single goddamn time. So I'm so glad that she actually said the same thing that I said. Have a good night, Krista, and good luck with your friend. Hope that she is okay. I hope that he's okay. Willow and Drew are responsible for Sasha's pregnancy. You want to tell me how we got to that point? How did you draw? How did you draw that conclusion, Justin? I'm very curious how we got to that point. Ed says I want Diane to ask Carly about Drew and Willow making decisions about the kids when yes, yeah, I that was definitely out of pocket. It was definitely funny, somewhat. I mean, that's the thing, though, Jonathan. They just make Ezra look like an ass. Ring says, I would love to edit Beyond the Gates. They need more thought out transitions between scenes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree, Wayne. I don't know about super couple, Shakira. I don't know about super couple. I mean, it's Michael here. Michael don't make super couples. Michael makes people boring. If we're going to be honest, and yes, I agree with that 100%. Just I do. Justin says, "Hello, they slept together to hurt Michael." Okay, but see, it's called accountability. So, didn't exactly appreciate the sarcasm there, buddy. Um, where the hell is your comment at? Willow and Drew are responsible for Sasha and Michael's pregnancy. Willow and Drew did not sit there and mind control Michael into having sex with 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 um with Sasha. See, my issue with what you're saying right now, you said the same thing about Ava, and you said the same thing about Ava and Christina. Basically, Smith is saying that Ava pushed Christina into cutting her brake lines. No, there's this thing in this world called accountability. Like that's not how that works. I mean, I humbly, no, fuck it. I respectfully agree to disagree with that, Justin. Maybe, maybe, Ed. I just know right now, like you know, They Michael makes people boring. If we have a good night, Kristen. It was really great to see you tonight, and I hope I get to see you in the next one. Oh damn time! Why didn't Sasha just plead the fifth? You can do that. I know it's kind of a dumb question, but I know that's kind of your field. So, like, you can do that, Josh. I thought you were just not there, just being sarcastic like usual. Yes. Yeah, but you don't have to answer. Okay. Justin says, "Well, that's your opinion. I guess you think Michael will be blamed for making Drew and Willow a girls' couple." No, that's not. No, I don't blame Drew for make. I don't blame Michael for making Drew and Willow a girls' couple. I'm really kind of failing to see your. Well, yeah, I don't really understand your train of thought, but Rosemary says, what was wrong with Bill on Beyond the Gates? Did he have a stroke? Why did they take him to the hospital?" I think he had like a mini stroke. He had a mini stroke. I don't know exactly what it was called, but like it was like a mini stroke. It was, yeah, but it wasn't like a full blown stroke though. It was like a mini stroke. That's what I was there. Yes, Rosemary, and it's good to see you, Rosemary. Shakira says Michael can't keep no woman either. They end up breaking, or yeah, yeah. That was always the curse, right, Shakira? It was Michael and Maxie. It was Michael and Maxie. Darby says, did Michael start his relationship with Willow by cheating with her against his friend um Chase? And yeah, and they did bring that up. They brought that up yesterday. He shouldn't. He should have known that if she would cheat with him. Yes. How you get, yeah, exactly. How you get them is how you lose them. Hmm. Yes, how you get them is how you lose them, Darby. Yes. Heaven said Willow is a serial cheater. That's good. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Have a good night, Rosemary. Oh, oh, never mind. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Rosemary. I'm glad you're here tonight. That's true, Allison. That is true. It's good to have you here tonight, Rosemary. LaShawn says, is Robert Scott Wilson going to play as Ben? I don't. That's a really good question, LaShawn, because I know that the actor, um, Robert and Victoria, they don't like each other. Okay, and I think that's why he didn't play Ben, um, opposite of Sierra today. So yeah, they have this issue between each other, like the actors do. And it said, "I but that's not going to happen." Well, yeah. Also, but what I was saying before is that the actors have issues with each other. So yeah, that's like another. That's the major thing, right? That it's sort of like Nancy and Ingo. The reason why um what is his name? Jax didn't come and sit there and see um, Alexis is because the actors had issues. So it's the same thing with Ciara and Ben. You're not gonna sit there and see Ben with. That's right, she is Queen Jess. While they can't recast Ben. Yeah, they could. Yeah, theoretically, Shakira, you're right. You're absolutely right. Jess says also, does anyone actually care for Lucky and Liz? I'm not understanding why he proposed. I think there's too much water under the bridge with that one. You know? Jenna says, is Jax coming back to GH? I would want that. Okay? I would want Jax to come back to GH. Johnson says, and plus Alex is a legacy character. I think Rob like playing Alex more. Yeah, but you know what? You know what? They're not going to have scenes together. I don't know why Lucky thought she was saying. She's been so gun shy about the whole thing now, right? And Wink says, how did Lucky afford that ring?" That's a damn good question. That's a hell of a good question. Yes, exactly. They got issues. You know, it's funny. I learned that from the chat. I never got a chance to explore it more, and maybe I'll do that one day when I actually have time. But yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't notice that though. Have you noticed every time Ciara's on screen, Robin never working? I have to think about that though. I have to really think about that though. Rosemary, let's not talk to Wink. Okay? Let's talk to everybody else in the chat. Rosemary. All right. Hmm. Very good point. There you go. That's the answer. Good point, Ed. Because he didn't leave town. So I personally rather him just be recast and killed off screen. That just seems so lame if they did that. So Ryan, you also think that the proposal was just hella random, right? Let's I'm gonna sit there and play devil's advocate for a hot minute, right? Lucky and Liz had known each other for a long time. So how out of nowhere is this proposal when you really think about it? I mean, he practically said that he'd known her and loved her nearly his entire life. So is the proposal really out of nowhere when you really stop to think about it? Susan says, speaking of money, did you see Luna's cute apartment? Plus, she had, it's funny, Susan. I would sit there and think that Bill didn't just throw her out on the streets, right? Like, he was like, hey, listen, you can't live here. And I'm like, okay, so where is she going to go? So, yeah, I get that too, Ryan. I get that too. I look at the longevity of those two. Exactly, Shakira. Just as it's out of nowhere because he just came back in town. They never even talked. about getting back together, let alone marriage or living arrangements. But they known each other for a lifetime. And like Shakira said, let me take a drink before I say this. High school sweethearts and all that lovey-dovey stuff. Yeah, this yes, Ryan, this is the Michael that I'm looking forward to. But back then he was kind of born with Willow. He was born with Willow. Okay? He was a boring character with Willow. I'm not the only person that said it. He was a boring character with Willow. I like this new Michael. And it has nothing to do with the actor. If they would have, you know, what's good, Spider? Lucky isn't even stable enough for marriage. He needs to have overseas. God damn, Jess. Ooh, I thought I could be cold. Jesus fucking Christ. Allison says they haven't seen each other in 13 years until 3 months ago. But they've known each other for a lifetime. Ed says, let's get back to talking about Chelsea running that woman off. Wait, that's what happened? I mean, I did my Beyond the Gets You Real. I don't remember. I remember it being a vapid scene that went nowhere. And I think, and I remember, her sitting there looking at her phone when her dad was in the hospital and being like, oh, I'm just going to have this vapid conversation with some woman that's sitting there just staring, practically eyeing me, you know. And the conversation went nowhere, right? Like what? See, this is the thing. Like Jess was sitting there saying like she finds it funny that I hate Chelsea, and I don't hate Chelsea. I just find her to be a very vapid ass woman. Like a very vapid ass girl. Oh, okay. You know what, Ed? Thank you. I got to go back and watch that scene now. I got to go back and watch that scene. Be cool with that, Jonathan, because she needs some fire. You know what I'm saying? Like he got some fire right now, and Betty is fire. You don't remember Betty? Not even that Chelsea is just boring. Okay, I just said not even just that Chelsea is just boring. Her storyline sucks. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she doesn't. See, that's the thing, though, right? Like, as annoying as Kat can be, at least Kat, you know, at least Kat is interesting. I like the actress, but at least Kat can be interesting, though. Chelsea has no games. Her pickup line was so corny. I mean, her entire dialogue is corny. If we're gonna, her entire dialogue is cringy as f. If we're gonna be honest. Just says I enjoy Kat, Eva, and Naomi. Yeah, that's that's pretty much same. Yeah, it's like and that's the thing though. It's like we got Naomi. Do we really need Kat? I mean, do we really need Chelsea? That's the sad thing. It's like we really don't need Chelsea. Like her scene was entirely pointless. Okay, because she found out that her dad was in the hospital. But did she go to the hospital? Did she sit there and say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that I missed a call or whatever"? No, nothing happened. So what the was the point of her scene? Um, Spikewood says, "Oh, Abra, a few days ago, I agree with your Trina video. You did any hate? No, actually, I did not. Well, I didn't check the comments yet, but um, and then, the thing is, Spider, my whole thing wasn't even so much about me criticizing Trina. I think the point of the video was that I was defending the other one because she had criticism about Tavi, and people were coming at her side. And my stance towards that video was like, we can always just agree to disagree. We don't have to be mean and nasty and rude to somebody giving their opinion. So no, I don't actually think they actually got any hate. Oh no, I'm not. I know you're not attacking me, Ryan. No, no, you're not attacking me. I I, I ignored the comment, but um, I know you're not attacking me. You good? You just seem like you kind of stick on the subject about Michael, and then you just kind of stay there for a little bit too long. I think that's my only thing. It's like I said the comment that I said, and you're still like harping on it. Like sometimes a comment is just a comment, you know. And I'm gonna say a lot of comments that you're not gonna agree with. You don't need to sit there and handpick every single comment that I say. Spider Spider says, I remember in the past, if you said the first Trina was better, you like her because her skin was lighter, people would. It makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is Spider. I just sat there and I looked at it and I was just like, you know how it was with Trina. You remember those days, Spider. Johnson says All American, the CW last of the scripted pre next star show has been renewed for a final season. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. I can't wait. I can't unfortunately wait to see what that network's going to turn into. Wayne says my only criticism was her opening the video was a Bible verse, but after that she had valid points about Trina's character. Yes, and see, here's my whole thing, Wayne, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I said the same thing. I was like, hey, listen, she has valid points. I never said that she was right about every point that she made or any point that she made. I just said that she had valid points, right? So, you can agree or disagree. Like, I've made points about, we'll just say Michael for shits and giggles, right? You can agree or you can disagree, like Ryan has. It's when you start getting disrespectful, that's my issue. That's my issue. Because, okay, cool, you can tell me why you disagree and I may learn something about it. But in the whole Bible verse thing, yeah, that was, yeah, that's her thing. I can respect that. I'm not super religious, but I can respect other people's. You know. Shakira says Dalton is kind of creepy about Emma, and yeah, Emma's not actually doing anything that's enticing. That's making him act the way that he's acting. But yeah, Jonathan, I don't recognize that. It's funny too. Every time it's funny. Every time I want to sit there and try to see what that network actually has, um, I keep just you know realizing that I don't have that much time. Just as she knows what she's saying, and the thing is, just yes, she does, and even if she doesn't, just be respectful. Fire Quick says I haven't been talking about Trina lately because honestly, she's not worth talking about. She's born honestly as made her character, and that's the same. And see, Spider, that's my whole thing. That's the same thing that Kyrie said. And people didn't come at Kyrie sideways, right? Yeah, right. I mean, listen. Yes, I did. Yes, I 100% used you because I want to illustrate a point. I need to start reacting to some clips at some point. Where is my goddamn music at? Spike says the reason they didn't is because skin tone and people have common sense. Yeah, I my point is, Spider, is that you didn't really say anything that was wrong, and there was a couple of times I had to defend you. But the Trina thing is a very touchy topic. Well, Ryan, what did I sit there and say? I play devil's advocate. So if that's what you want to call it, then yes. Rosemary says, where's your girlfriend cat lady at today? Why is she not on the live? That's a damn good question, Rosemary. And I'm gonna ask her and kind of chastise her the next time that she does show up. At least, right, Spider? But yes, Rosemary, I will definitely make sure I at slash chastise her. As says, I like both actresses that play Trina, but Sydney was a stronger actress, and Toby just needs better material. Hmm. I got an opinion about that after I read Johnson's comment, and then I'm going to go to the men's room. Johnson says the thing about the past CW shows is that even though they didn't get the best viewership ratings, they were popular. You would see the actor appear on talk shows. You could, Ryan, I actually agree with that. That was probably the, yeah. We'll see about that. See about that, Darby. Here's the thing, Jonathan. Here's what I was sit there and say about that, and then here's what I was sit there and say about that. The thing is, Jonathan, they weren't. I always sit there and look at the CW shows, and I say that they're not quality. I forgot what the hell I forgot what you said. They were enjoyable, but they were never quality shows. But people talked about it, right? YouTubers talked about those shows. So they weren't really the quality shows, but they were entertaining. And I think entertainment does play a huge value in how we watch these shows. How you look at soap operas, and sometimes there's shit that don't make sense. There's retcons and all this other stuff, but they're entertaining. Hell, we don't sit there and watch soap operas for action and fight scenes because that's not what they do. But we still enjoy the shows in general. Juan says, I'm just looking at Smallville right now. Spider says, at least now it's just. I mean, you understand why it's kind of a touchy subject, though, to some extent. And what did Jess say? Okay. But, here's my thing, though, Spider. I understand why. Well, I did the video. So if you watch the video, you know why people are kind of touchy with 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 Hobby. Um, but I still think that people should just be respectful. Ron says action and fight scenes are why I got into GH. Well, yes, you got into GH because they did show the action and the explosions and stuff like that. It was good, Jillian, and I get that. But what I'm sitting there saying is that let's be honest, Duane, we can let certain shit slide. Yes, GH is probably the best when it comes towards that stuff. But you're not sitting there being like, oh my god, this was such an amazing fight scene. It's like, no, it was a satisfactory fight scene, you know, which are few and far in between. Julian says Willow signing those papers was, yeah, yes, Julian, and I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. That was dumb. Just says damn Spider. What? Well, just what about damn Spider? No, I mean, listen, I agree with Spider. I agree with Spider wholeheartedly. I mean, come on, Jess. Let's be honest. I wouldn't even have made that video if she talked about Johnson. I wouldn't have made that video if she talked about Johnson. If she talked about Eda McCoy and her acting, I wouldn't have sat there and made that video because it wouldn't have been a hot topic. So let's not, let's be real. Heaven says our Rick may be a slime ball, but he was grilling Sasha on the stand. Well, yeah, but yes, maybe, most likely, Heaven, most likely. But the point is, at least he was doing his damn job, though. He was doing more of his job today than he's been doing in a hot minute, than he was yesterday. I think just at the end because I said, well, oh, okay, never mind. The drinks are starting to go. Julian says Michael was spot on to say that Willow needs therapy big time. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jess. My bad. My bad. I didn't follow the. Something I sit there and start jumping into somebody else's conversation. Now, Ed says I was back when the CW was the WB when it had great TV, and I don't agree that the CW was entertaining. You don't agree that the CW was entertaining. Okay, so Ed, what you basically what you're saying is that you thought it was better when it was the WB, right? Fucking yes, that's exactly what I said. Just I said the same shit. I said the exact same goddamn thing. Very true, Jonathan. I was actually watching some scenes from that show. The show that just didn't finish, but yeah. And yes, Jess, I did the exact same thing. I'm like, we just had this conversation. I'm like, Beyond the Gates do not need to sit there and turn into Bold and the Beautiful. They don't need to sit there and turn into Bold and the Beautiful. One day, Jess, maybe one day when we have some time and whatever. Jonathan, can you please sit there and tell Jess that she needs to finish watching The Vampire Diaries? Yeah, girl, I'm not asking you to sit there and watch what you call it, the originals, which I think that she should, but as says I do agree to see that it was entertaining and it was better when it was okay. Too much Damon. All right, Jonathan. I need you to sit there and well, okay, that's cool, Jonathan, but I need you to sit there and tell Jess why she should finish watching Vampire Diaries. And just Jonathan, just keep in mind she likes Homelander, which is which is way more deranged than oh, okay, cool, Sugar. I look forward to Archer Charles stuff. Danielle said Damon the crash out dummy. I'll be right back. Thank you, Jonathan. Michael Baldwin in the chat. Um, where's that picture at? There we go. Ryan, I mean, if you want me to be rude, I can be rude. I simply start ignoring your comments about Michael because I'm not going back and forth with you about it. And so I actually thought I was being nice, but I can actually be a dick. You seem like you're not getting it. I'm not interested in going back and forth with you all night about a fictional character. It's like you don't understand how to read the room. I love the originals, Ed. I guess I could sit there and let the fourth season slide. Jack been MIA, now he's back. Okay, there we go. Wing says when I first started watching The Boys, I thought that was Zach from Saved by the Bell at first. You really haven't. You just sat there and said that I was being rude because I ignored your comments about Michael. And then you're sitting there saying, "Oh, he didn't answer my questions about Michael." Rude, my girl. Oh, well, there's also like 35 people in the chat, so I'm trying to get to everyone, not just you, Ryan. But need you to be patient and understanding. Zach from Saved by the Bell. It's something else. I gotta watch that shit. Let me actually take a screenshot. This is why I don't actually forget it. Um, no, Ryan, I don't. I don't. I don't think it's hypocritical. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna sit there and say it's hypocritical because I don't know something, something, something. You like Michael. I mean, the point is, Ryan. At the end of the day, Rick's opinion. I mean, Rick's assessment of the situation with Michael, in my opinion, is still valid. Is that Sonny, because of Michael's family, it is dangerous. Hell, Michael is an example of the danger that that involves just being a Corinthos. So that's how I look at it, Ryan. No, yeah, I gotta watch that tonight. I also gotta sit there. It's funny too because it's tomorrow's Thursday, so I guess I should probably watch the previews tonight. Like I said yesterday, I think that General House was the only show that I don't like. I'll watch the previews like at the end of the episode, but for the previews for the week, that's the only one. I think I just forget. I literally forget. I don't know why, but I do. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Ryan, but like I said, I stand by my opinion on agreeing with Rick and Smith is saying. Wink said did yeah, this week flew by, didn't realize Thursday was tomorrow. Yeah. Um yeah. But it's funny, Wayne, because people sit there and be like, customers that come to me and be like, "Oh, you ready for the weekend?" I'm like, "I work on the weekend, you dick." Like, I work on the weekend, you dick. People's like, oh, it's the weekend coming soon. I'm like, and that means what for me? But I just realize, sometimes I just have to sit there and think like, thank you, Jonathan. I just have to sit there and realize that sometimes people are just, I don't want to sit there and say dumb, but like seriously, Cherry, like, oh, you ready for the weekend? I'm just like, it's just one of those things where people say that just makes me want to pop them in the mouth. Like literally. Darby says Michael is the prime example of what it's like danger wise for a parental child. Yes, exactly. Alexandra says, have your opinion changed on who will win the custody battle, or do you think Michael will win? I think Michael will win. I think Michael will win. And Allison says, where do you work? Supermarket. So yeah, I work at a supermarket, and I deal with some stupid people. Not most, but some stupid people. When I sit there and say stupid, I mean stupid. Yep. Thank you, Heaven. Heaven, you're a rock star. I deal with some stupid people. I'll sit there and say that much. As it says, I guess Michael's going to be able to be in his baby's life with Sasha now that the truth comes out. Will he, or would Sasha still push for that though? Allison says a lot of people work weekends. Obviously, most things are open then. Yeah, it's just my whole thing is Allison. It's just one of the many dumb things that people say to me that I have to sit there and be like. Wayne says people at funerals and a line at the grocery store say the dumbest shit. Is okay to be quiet sometimes. Yes, and it's funny, Wayne, because I put this as a short. One of my and thank you, Ryan, because you asked me a question a long time ago. Like one of the things that really drive me up a goddamn wall is when people will walk up to me to be like, "You look like you're bored. Let me give you something to do." And I don't think they understand just how hard I have to sit there and fight the urge to do something that I can't say on YouTube. It's just the most, I don't want to sit there and say arrogant, but like the most, what word could I use for that? And they got to be something beyond stupid. But the most annoying thing that people can sit there and say to anyone that works in retail. And then they'll stand there and smile and laugh like they said something that's like, oh my God, that was so funny. Wayne says lack of self awareness. Yes, hard body. Leave me alone. If I look like I'm bored, I'm probably relaxing. Thank you, Ryan. Darby says people are clueless, but don't hate them for their annoying ways. I cannot though. Do you work checkout? I could never do retail. I can't deal with people or in real life sometimes. Yeah, it's Allison, it teaches you patience and you know how to have a conversation. Allison. That's if I'm gonna sit there and try to be a little bit positive, I've learned how to have conversations with anyone because that's essentially what you're doing. Like if you're a person that doesn't have social skills or anything like that, you probably need a retail job because it's going to be very hard to get through anything in life if you don't know how to talk to people. But yeah, that shit annoys that. Uh, and it's funny too because Ryan asked me a question I think last week, and I couldn't sit there and think about it. So yeah, shout out to you, Ryan. Even though as far as my patients have gone, kind of start you kind of start to move the tipping point up a little bit. Toby says I can never do register. However, my fear of losing someone else's money is great. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I'm good with math, so Allison said I have no patience or tolerance for stupid people if you're over 12. Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. I get that, Allison. But yeah, Ryan, so this version of Ryan. What was this version of Ryan like an hour and a half ago? Like, seriously, Ryan, where is this version of you at? This version of you was not here. Like, God damn, Ryan. I mean, clearly I'm great at what I do. I really do admire myself sometimes. Frank says it's like adults who constantly ask kids how's school, then wonder why they feel a disconnect. Kids do not want to discuss school during their free time. They're more than just their grades. Yeah, Wink, you are smart as shit. Yes. Allison says, do people like to argue about? Yes, Allison. People love to argue about praise. They love to argue about praise. They love to argue about why something isn't the way it is. They love to sit there and assume that I run the store, I own the store, my last name is a part of the store. You know, all sorts of dumb shit that I just have to sit there and remember that I make a decent amount of money for the work that I do. Because and also it allows me to do this, if we're gonna be honest. I was seriously, Cherry, I'm just being real right now. Cherry, I wish you was a member. You might have some fun in the member circle, which I have not been promoting it. But oh yeah, I was busy sitting there talking. Ryan says, "Sorry, I was just so annoyed with today's episode. Rick is such an unlikable character as such, and it put me in a bad mood." Ryan, let me tell you something. I'm very good at what I do. I'm gonna toot my own horn from it. I'm very good at what I do, which is why I knew you were gonna sit there and act this way, right? So I knew where my patience level needed to be. But I don't think you're a bad person, Ryan. I really don't. I think you could be kind of extra, but I think you're a GH fan. No pun intended. I think as long as you don't go too far with other people and me, which is most important, I think you'll be fine. Allison says, "How do you become a member?" Um, what is it? I think it's $4.99 or $3.99. So there's a pin comment. You just click the pin comment and you become a member. So right where it says the pin comment, that little link, you just click on that and you can become a member. But it's fun to have us. Trust me, ask any one of my members. It's absolutely fun. Plus, I have some new ideas, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. So you should join. Sean says, Robert, I wonder if they can redeem Drew. All he has to do is they can definitely yes, they can definitely renew Drew. If they can redo, if they could redeem Luke Spencer and Todd Manning, then yes. Yeah, I get it, Ryan. Like I said, you're a super fan. You just need to you know dial it back a little bit. Understand when I'm ignoring you about something is because well, thank you, Darby. Darby, you're fucking awesome. It's because I don't want to get into back and forth with you. I don't want to sit there and curse you out, as fun as that may be. Um, just kind of read the room a little bit. Darby, you're fucking awesome. As says, I'm still having issues becoming a member. I fixed my information, but they still want me to prove the information I already put in. I'm gonna look into that tomorrow, Ed. I'm gonna look into that because I want you to be. I want you to be a member. I want you to be a member. Seriously. Heaven says, Albert, do you think Dante will forgive Brooklyn before he forgives Lulu? Yeah, because they have a child together. Because they have a child together. Ryan says, I think I pushed too hard to bring close to a conversation when I should just let it go. I'll work on it. Well, I appreciate that, Ryan. I appreciate that. Yes, you have a good night, Ed. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow stream. But yeah, Ryan, I just, there are some other peoples as in plural, that had some behavioral issues. And I worked it out with them, surprisingly. So, Evan says you could be right. I think so too. Yeah, no, I think because they share a child and it's, he's still in love with Sam, I think it's totally possible. W says, I want to know if you can talk to YouTube or give the membership to selected people. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna look into that because not just me, Darby, but I'm pretty sure Kyrie's would probably want to select certain people instead of having people in his member stream that is not qualified to be in his member stream. All right, like I said, I don't think you're. A really philosophical question. In some instances, I would sit there and say no. Because, being a parent is more than just the basic things that you're supposed to do to be a parent. You know, it's more than that. It's about decisions that you make, not just, you know, being the greatest dad in the world. It's like saying that you could all the love in the world is not going to necessarily fix a relationship, right? Toby says, have you noticed that no one has taken the free membership on YouTube or YouTube hasn't given it? Yeah, I don't. The thing is, Darby. Yeah, well, I can't see it from. I can't see it from there, but maybe if I look on there, because sometimes it will sit there and show if somebody become a member or not. Baldwin says, all right, Lulu was annoying the shit out of me today. Brooklyn was like, you think you can blow up my life and get away with it? Lulu just needs to mind her own damn business, like Dante said. Like Dante, Laura, and Carly said, yes. Yes, Autumn. But yeah, what's good, Solomon? I don't understand that. I'm gonna have to look into that tomorrow because I know that like the membership has to go somewhere. And we're gonna be I know that the membership goes by the amount of how much you participate in a stream. I'm not gonna sit there and say any names. I know that certain people has been participating a lot in the stream and in the comment section. So I'm kind of surprised that this person didn't get an automatic membership. I'm not going to say who, but I think we can kind of all guess at this point. Did I not mention how good I am as far as doing this, surprisingly? I mean, I'm not saying to say I'm the best, but god damn. Okay. See, somebody was paying attention. Yes, you're right. Oh shit. Okay, he is streaming tonight. Yes, you're right. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, you know, and by the way, you do help out in the algorithm, so I do appreciate you for doing that. Right. Soap Scoop Daily. Good night, everyone. Hi, Soap Scoop Daily. Hey, Heaven says I read this whole build up Dante hating Geo for how he handled Geo to find out they are father and son did not make sense. I get Dante was kid. Well, it does actually. It does make sense because they kind of did that with the whole Sunny and Dante, the Sunny and Dante thing. Yeah, I think you kind of missed the point though, but yes. And to be honest, it's not as expensive as some. Yeah, exactly, Allison. It's not as expensive as other people's memberships. See, Ryan? See, Wink? You see how good I am? Yes, you can ask me another question, Ryan. Yes. It really isn't. Because you stop and think about it, YouTube actually takes out 30%. So that 3.99, I'm not necessarily getting that 3.99. So, but I get it, different incomes and stuff. I'm not, yeah, I mean, he literally pulled out that what you call it. Is that so school? Let me see a channel. Investigate. By investigate, I mean be like nosy as fuck. And I don't see anything. Yeah, I was saying it's a month. Yeah, and you can. I mean, granted, you can cancel at any point in time. Yes, I do, Solomon. And stop stressing out his wife and his daughter. Yeah, Allison. No, it's a month. It's 3.99 a month. I'm telling you, Allison. It's worth it. You don't actually have any content. Not looking at it. It's not my business. I am not going to go there. I couldn't even share your content if I wanted to. I give you a like. There. I did my good deed for today. Okay. All right. I'm going to sit in the stream here because I don't want to sit and be lagging tomorrow. Like I was kind of lagging today. I want to be lagging tomorrow. That is actually very true, Allison. That is less than a cup of coffee. Allison, you're fucking awesome. You have a good night. Wing says some channels have membership tiers, $1.99 basic, early access, $3.99, and $7.99 live streams for members, and perks others don't get. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, thank you, Wing. Darby says $5 a month. Lord, that's expensive. Yeah. Yes. Have a good night, Wink. Have a good night, Allison. Have a good night, Susan. Have a good night, Cherry. Have a good night, Quiet Guy. Have a good night, Ryan, aka GH Fan. Allison, I appreciate you. Have a good night, Solomon. Have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night, Rosemary. Thank you for joining. Have a good night, Heaven. Heaven, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Ryan says, I'll be nicer tomorrow. In my defense, I was sitting on a bleacher for hours. My ass hurts and probably. All right, that was actually funny, Ryan. You can be funny when you don't try. Funny when you don't try. I appreciate that. But yes, you have a good night, Ryan. Island, Darby, and shout out to Darby. Seriously, that was Island. That was good. That was that was good. I give Ryan that. It's not actually the. Oh, Tanya, have a good night. Have a good night, Blackmon. Darby says, Johnson, say your closing and oh shit. I knew I forgot that. Man, I gotta sit there and remember that. Right, that was a good one. I gotta sit there and screenshot that. Hold on. That was actually good. There we go. That was good. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, Alice. And I was like, wow, you got a purple thing this time. But that was good, Ryan. So um, yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. And have a good night, everyone. Laters.